The Mixed Mornings and More podcast with Steph and Sean.
Now available daily.
Good morning, world.
Good morning. Happy Friday. It's March 10th. It's Friday. Pardon me. It's 5:29 right now. Hey, we had a nice little pizza work lunch yesterday. There are 2 slices left in the fridge. Steph, you want one?
Sure.
You want morning pizza?
Yeah, I've got a toothbrush in my desk. I feel like morning pizza when it's cold too just makes you burp all day. So actually, I might retract.
I was going to warm it up.
Oh, okay. You warm up your cold pizza?
Always. I never have cold pizza.
Really?
Yeah.
And do you always keep your pizza on the counter or in the fridge?
Fridge.
Interesting.
Yeah. I just like the old melty cheese on top of it and just a little sogginess and then just the goodness of it all.
Okay. So thank you. So you are offering me a pizza, or were you kind of hoping I'd say no?
I was hoping you'd say no, but I'll give you one.
You're so nice.
Because now I'm kind of stuck here.
I have a confession to make, Sean. Mm-hmm. It's a little 5 a.m. confessional. My husband still hasn't fixed the heat in my truck.
I'm not surprised. If you're trying to catch me off guard, not. I fully expected this. I think it's because you come in with a blanket every morning.
Yeah, I do. I'm like Lionel from Charlie Brown. I'm just carrying a blanket around my truck is so cold. But last night I was extra reminded of how cold it is because a friend is visiting us from Australia.
Oh, yeah, that'll do her.
Yeah, picked him up at the airport. And isn't this man just wearing shorts and a crew neck sweater?
Stop it. Has he done Canada before? Winter?
Oh, he's been here before. I'm not sure. Actually, I think I've only ever seen him in shorts and a sweater before.
Okay.
Maybe he's just a summer child.
Yeah.
But I said to him, I was like, oh, hey, when we get your bag, if you want to stop off at the washroom and change into pants, that's probably a good idea. And he was like, oh, no, I'll be fine. You said the airport's pretty close. I was like, it's still 15 minutes and I don't have heat in my truck. And he's like, what do you mean you don't have heat in your truck? I'm like, there is no heat. And he's like, Sky needs to fix that. I was like, you tell him, Dave.
We're making a list now. You're on it.
So I have a whole, stack of blankets in the back. And I was just I was like, here you go. You want a blanket?
This one's for your butt. This one's for your lap. You can wrap the third one around your shoulders and then just hope we get there quick. Big heads up to all the Sasky people out there and just people in general. The clock moves this weekend. And for us Sasky people, it's something new that we don't ever have to worry about. Daylight savings time, Steph.
Yeah, daylight savings time is a wonderful time of year when it suddenly gets dark later. It's a beautiful thing. And I've learned some things about it this
What did you learn?
around.
Tell me all about it, because I've been doing this for 6 years now. I've been out of Sask for 6 years, and I feel like I learn something new all the time.
Well, New Zealand's been doing it for 120 some. So it's started back in the late 1900s or 1800s, and it was a bug collector who
Nerd.
came up with
We're
this
doing this
idea.
because of bugs?
Yeah, he wanted to have more daylight time to look at bugs and not to get up in the middle of the night to see them and be like, oh, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's light out. I better go outside.
Oh,
and
my
so
goodness.
he proposed daylight savings time, got New Zealand on board. Canada first adopted it in Thunder Bay.
Oh.
1908. So we've had it for 115 or so years.
How do you feel about Thunder Bay as another Northern Ontario rival up there with the Sioux? You're from the Sioux.
I'm from the Sioux. Thunder Bay is always 8 hours away, and I've only ever driven through it once, and it was to get here. So
Okay.
don't know
right.
much about the place except that it exists. And then the other thing is that across the world, countries really started to adopt it in the 70s. To keep energy costs low, because there was an energy crisis and they realized we could sleep when it's daylight in the wee morning hours, or we could use one less hour of electricity lights if we move it to the end of the day.
Wow. Manipulating time to their advantage. Unbelievable. I say we just scrap it. Everyone... What do you do?
Why do you want to scrap it, Sean? I think if we're going to scrap it, we should stay in daylight savings time and keep this extra hour at the end.
Okay. Either one way or the other. I don't care what way we keep the hour or lose the hour or gain 2 hours. I don't know. But scrap it. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm always tired, but I'm tired. I'm more tired.
Oh my gosh. I got a message about a month back from one of the people who stood in my wedding. That's a dear friend of my husband's and lives in Australia, that said, can you keep a secret?
And you're like, no, but tell me.
I know. That's the thing, is that I cannot keep a secret. I am so bad at secrets. It's like, I work in radio. What do you want? I have to tell everybody about it. Don't ask me to keep a secret.
That's right. But you can reveal it now, right?
I can reveal it now because I did. I succeeded the first time in my life, Sean.
So happy for you.
This groomsman decided that he was going to come and surprise my husband from Australia. And somehow, for the last month, I have managed to carry on conversation with my husband and not tell him.
Yeah, we were trying to like come up with weird ways that we could surprise him too.
Yeah. And you know what ended up happening is that the plane was delayed. And so I had to like leave my house, pretend that I was going out for coffee with somebody, and then not come home for a couple hours while the plane kept getting delayed.
Yeah.
And we just walked in, and my husband honestly looked like he had seen a ghost. He was just staring at our friend, blinking at him. He rubbed his eyes for a second and was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
It was like, usually it would be met with joy and jumping up and down and hugs.
Yeah.
And
It was one of those shocked ones where it was just like no words for a couple seconds.
he's like, what'd you put in my Cheerios? I think I'm hallucinating.
Snapchat is one of the latest apps, I guess, that is rolling out. Not only two-parter here. They're not only rolling out a subscription base, but they're also rolling out AI.
Wow, what overachievers.
Yeah, they're just hopping on all the trends. Subscriptions and AI.
What do you need AI for in Snapchat?
Yeah, so I clicked on it, and so I was in my messages, and then at the very top, it was like, hey, I'm your AI. Ask me hello, ask me questions, and just go from there. So I was like, okay, whatever, and then I did. And then it basically just said, before you use Snapchat AI, you have to pay to use me type of thing.
And what, is it just like a new friend in your phone that's going to respond to you?
Kind of. That's the preview that it gets. So the preview that it gets of what you can do with my AI is, hey, this is me texting it, like the preview. Did we just become best friends? And then the AI says, of course we did. I'm always here to chat with you with a smiley face. How weird is that?
I don't like this. It's making me really nervous about the amount of time we're spending with robots instead of talking to real humans.
100%. $5 for a month, $40 for the year. As the kids would say, give me an ick.
Yeah, that gives me an ick. I mean, let's talk to Siri if we need a friend and we need a free robot. This is kind of crazy. And I do feel like the squeeze is just so much right now. Like every app is like, oh, we were free before and we just had advertisers, but I think we can get more money if we do something else. Oh, let's go on that. Oh my gosh. Like how many subscriptions are we going to have before we just say, I can't afford this anymore?
Don't get me wrong. I do subscribe to things. Like I subscribe for some sports stuff. I subscribe for some entertainment things like Netflix. But when it comes to a free app, get out of here.
I took my truck into the wand wash yesterday, and I think I may have did it wrong.
You did it wrong? How? Why? Who? What? Where? When?
Well, I pulled in and there was two gents washing their trucks, and I left before they finished washing theirs.
Oh, they're doing a deep dive maybe.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, my truck looked clean at the end, but did I miss a step?
Okay, go through it all.
Okay, so I pulled into the spot and I took out the high pressure rinse.
Right.
Rinsed it off. Then I switched to high pressure soap.
Yep.
Same wand. Soaped it up.
Yeah.
Then I switched back to high pressure rinse.
Yeah.
And then I paid $12 and left.
Heck yeah. See, that's our way. I think they might be in a different tax bracket.
Yes, perhaps. Or maybe
They might do the foam brush where that's like the good soap. That's like the bougie soap.
Well, I did want to ask, like, why is this foam brush thing so good? And then I just don't trust it. I think somebody probably washed their tires with it. Then I'm like, I'm going to wash my truck with a rock in the foam brush. So I'm a little bit afraid of it.
Yeah.
However, I did notice some of the spots that I thought were rust in the darkness of the car wash were actually just large chunks of dirt still left on the car.
Oh, yeah.
I have one other problem as well.
What's that?
Now that I've cleaned this truck for the first time since September,
Right.
driving in the dark, on top of the fact that there were already really big tow mirrors that were blinding me and a rear view mirror, now the truck is so shiny, the lights are reflecting off the side as well and adding an extra blinding light.
You know what? Maybe you're just not a truck person. You're just so confused by everything.
No, maybe I'm a truck person. I'm just not a clean truck person.
You're a dirty truck person. Yeah, that's right. Special guest joining the show this morning. We have the futsal coach from Keano College. You coach both the men's and women's side. Neil Slotboom, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So we got a big championship going on this weekend. Futsal championship. Quick, first of all, futsal, what is it?
Well, indoor soccer is probably the easiest way to describe it to most people. It is a little bit different. It is increasingly getting more popular in the soccer or futsal world, of course, especially here in Canada as well. A lot of the youth is changing over to that. You used to have the boarded soccer here, which was 5 players and a goalkeeper. Futsal here is without boards, so it really is more of the outdoor style of rules as well. And it's 4 players and a goalkeeper. It's a very, really small, condensed space, and it's full of action. So even people that might not be a fan of the slower outdoor game where it's 11v11 and sometimes you have no goals for 90 minutes, this is quite the opposite. It's quite exciting. Lots of action back to back, typically pretty high scoring goals. So very entertaining sport to watch overall.
Awesome. I can't wait to check it out. The ladies start us off this morning. What can we expect from on the women's side?
Yeah, I mean, we play our first game here at 9:15. There's an earlier game as well, starting at 8 here at SWC. But for our women's team, and obviously we had a really strong outdoor season, and we've had a strong couple of seasons here. And last season in the same futsal championship, we made it all the way to the final. We ended up losing that, unfortunately, against SAIT. And, luck have it, this first game where we open up our championship is against SAIT. So it's going to be a test right from the get-go. But, the girls are ready, so it's going to be a good one.
Of course, that's always the way it goes, isn't it? Just to make you nervous off the top. What about the men? What are they up to?
Yeah, it's the men very similar. Last year they did not do as well in the seeding round, so we didn't end up making it to the championship there. But obviously we've turned that program around in quite a big way this season, and that momentum from soccer has been continuing us through the seeding round so far. Placing second in the North, and our first game is just like the girls against SAIT. That one is starting at 11:45, and it's going to be a big one as well. It's 2 of the best programs in the province, so it's going to be it should be quite a show. It'll be a good game for sure.
Well, I hope both teams make it all the way through till Sunday. It's going on all weekend. Does it cost anything, Niels?
There is a small cost. I believe it is $5 per day or $10 for the entire weekend, and kids, seniors, and students are free. So there is some small costs involved, but it all goes back right into the athletics programs. And, it's an action-packed weekend. So if anybody has time to come out, please come out and support, and you won't be disappointed.
I love it. I'll see you there. Good luck this weekend. And, go Huskies, go.
Woo woo.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Niels.
Reality recap.
All right, Big Brother Canada. First of all, I got a beef with it, by the way, because it was
already a beef with Big Brother Canada, and it's like I came back for you, Sean, and now you're gonna have a beef with me.
Yeah, and so the first episode aired 10 p.m. on a Wednesday, and I don't have the Eastern channel, so I didn't get to watch it at like 8 o'clock. So I had to tape it and watch it the next day. So I watched it last night. But then there was another episode last night, so I got to watch 2 in a row. So,
okay.
I mean,
so this is a very bad beef. It's not really a
give
beef
or take
at all.
a little
You're
bit.
Like,
Give
now
or
I got
take.
double Big Brother Canada.
That's right. Give or take a little bit. But it was fantastic. Holy crap. I absolutely love it. I need to get on this show, basically, is what I'm trying to say right here. They always have a theme for every year. The theme this year is kind of like a murder mystery whodunit type of theme.
Ooh.
So the whole house is just like showcase. There's a study and there's a lounge and like it's just all of that type of
like
theme.
a big kind of Clue game in real life. Okay.
So it's really cool in that sense. The house looks absolutely fantastic, and the cast is incredible. Just a lot of personalities, a lot of diversity, and a lot of really cool people.
Now, you had kind of singled out somebody from Edmonton the other day. You still excited about them?
Big fan of her. Her name's Santina. She's from Edmonton. She's an esthetician. And she said she's so we got to see her bio and stuff. She said she's a little bit of like a hippie, and she wants to like live in a van and do all the type of stuff like that. But then she's very competitive. And her and John Michael were a pair Soccer, and one of the very first tasks, not really spoiler alert, it's early in the season, whatever. Her and this guy named John Michael from Bradford, Ontario, were a pair, and they won the first competition to move on to the next round, blah, blah, blah. But I like both of them. They're both very cool. I like John Michael's hilarious. He's very just... He doesn't want, he'll rattle like feathers and he doesn't care about it. But like not in like a rude way, just like in a funny, hilarious way. And Santina's just kind of like competitive and cool. So I like both of them. I like the Edmonton girl. And then there's this guy, Hope, who is on the show. He's from Milton, Ontario. I think he's in his like mid-20s or so. He's an athlete, and but he also reminds me, but he's also hilarious. He just has like so much energy. And if you watched The Circle, the latest season of The Circle, and there was Marvin on that show. You watched The Circle, right?
Yes, yeah. Marvin, the giggly guy.
Yeah, he's
really
like, wow. He was always just like, wow, that is so cool. Oh my goodness, wow. He's just amazed by everything, entertained by everything. Hope kind of gives off a little bit of those vibes where he's also athletic and he's just like always about like the energy and stuff. So I have high hopes for this season already.
All right. So the high hopes, though, what's your early prediction? Who is going to win?
Yeah,
All
early
the money.
prediction. The Newfoundland guy, Jonathan, the fisherman. He's giving me some good vibes right now. There was this like Rico Suave kind of guy. His name's Rob. He's a gym guy and he's putting in a good social game. At least how they're producing it right now, he's putting in a pretty good social game. I could see that. And then I could also see our Santina girl. I could see her giving a run to the end. I think she's showing some good social and also winning some comps and placing some good alliances early on. So those are, I would say, Rob and Santina and Jonathan from Newfoundland are my early picks.
We'll see what happens.
Stephen Page joining the show this morning. He is going to be playing at Keanu Theater tomorrow night. Roughly 20 tickets remain. If you want to get to the show, you got to go fast over to the Keanu Theater ticket section. Stephen, I understand you've been traveling across Alberta. Where are we catching you at right now?
Yes, we just did Sherwood Park and then Camrose, and then on our way to Fort McMurray after that to finish up the little Alberta run. We did Red Deer before Sherwood Park, and we did some recording in Calgary before that. So we've been all over the province.
Wow, you're a busy guy. What can people expect tomorrow night if they come to the concert?
Well, so the show is the Stephen Page Trio. So it's myself, Kevin Fox on cello, and Craig Northey on guitar. People might remember Craig from his other band, The Odds, and we've been friends for 30-odd years now. So it's, even though the look of it, three middle-aged men with a cello might seem very kind of adult and serious, it's not. It's a lot of fun. And we'll be playing some stuff from my most recent record, Excelsior, that came out in the fall, but all the way back to the very first Bare Naked Ladies record.
Ooh, that sounds super fun. I'm really excited. I'll be there too to cheer you on and to enjoy your show.
We had a great time playing there at the theater, it's about 2019. So it's nice to be back.
I was at that show as well.
Right on.
Hey, Stephen, I was wondering, have you ever been starstruck throughout your music career, whether it's early on, maybe something recently? Anyone you've ever met during your musical career in your path where you're just like, damn, that's cool. I can't believe it.
Well, I've been lucky enough to meet several of my heroes, which but in kind of like awkward ways most of the time. The craziest, I think, was going to see, we were playing at a festival in England in 1996, I think, and Neil Young and Crazy Horse were headlining. And although I did get to meet Neil Young later, a couple of years later, I didn't meet him that day, but we were told we could stand on the side of the stage to watch his show. So it was myself and Tyler from Bare Naked Ladies, and we're walking up onto the stage, and the security stop us and say, no, it's too full over on this side of the stage. Go to the other side. So we go to the other side of the stage, and they cordon it off behind us, and we look around, and it's just me and Tyler and Paul and Linda McCartney and their kids. And we watched the entire Neil Young concert with the McCartney family.
Wow.
How bizarre.
Yeah, that's a once-in-a-lifetime
amazing.
experience.
Yes, exactly. Where the whole audience is singing Four Strong Winds along with them, and it's amazing. And we're looking out at the audience, and Stella McCartney turns to me and she says, "This is just one of those nights I'll just remember for the rest of my life." And I'm thinking, you'll remember this for the rest of your life. You probably have these all the time.
Unreal. That's so cool.
This is crazy. And I couldn't say anything to her dad. Like I wasn't going to go and be, as much as I wanted to be total Chris Farley on him and go, "Remember when you did Hey Jude? That was cool." But he obviously knew we were musicians, and like Neil would make a mistake in a guitar solo or something like that, and Paul would come over and like elbow me and laugh. Crazy.
Your own little inside joke with a legend himself. My goodness.
Yeah.
If you were to name your top 3 road trip snacks, what would they be?
The number one, whether it's my favorite or not, it's an essential, at least for me and Craig, that you must have corn nuts.
Oh, yeah. Those are
corn
sometimes
nuts
teeth hurters, though. They sometimes hurt your teeth. Sometimes they're really hard.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, it's not entirely pleasurable. You can break a filling. You can break a tooth. They give you intense, like it makes the van smell weird. But there's something like you can't stop eating them. And when you're in the truck stop, you have to try to resist buying the big bag. But if you're me, you can't resist. Yeah. So that's definitely one. Chips are popular. I like popcorn, but I find that bagged popcorn is always disappointing.
Yeah.
So if you're lucky enough to stop somewhere where they're popping popcorn, then that's a must for me. And then beyond that, I think the number 3 would be apples. And the most popular thing to do if you're touring in a van is to eat an apple, put the core down on the floor somewhere, and say you're going to throw it out when you stop next, and then forget. And then the van kind of fills up with rotting apple cores over the course of the tour.
That mixed with the corn nuts, I love it.
Yeah, it's a nice place to live.
And how about maybe some of the coolest things your music career has allowed you to do, whether it's travel, experiences, anything like that? Kind of like the experience you just talked about with Paul, but just maybe some other things.
Well, I've been lucky enough to be kind of all over the world and go to Australia, New Zealand, and Japan, and all over Europe and stuff, and that's amazing for me. I think honestly, and it sounds a little corny, but I think at this point in my life, I've realized the greatest thing about traveling, about being on the road, is just the fact that you can kind of connect with these audiences who have such different life experiences, and then your music becomes a kind of common denominator for them. So, I get to go to a place like Glasgow, Scotland, where people are singing all the words with thick Scottish accents. I don't know these people. How do they know these songs? That kind of thing, just the fact that I can still, 35 years later, travel and have people who want to come and see my concerts. It's pretty amazing. I mean, it really is. It's not a common existence, and it took me a long time to realize how special it was.
Wow, really cool. Where do you call home these days?
I live outside of Syracuse, New York. My wife is from there. So when her kids were little, I moved down there. Now her last kid is graduating high school, so who knows where we'll go from. We'll go after that. We may come, I certainly dream of coming back to Canada. That's where my parents are and where my kids are and, where my history is. So I think, that will certainly be in the cards. But at this point, we're enjoying our place in upstate New York.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming back to Canada, at least for this bout. We're really excited to see you tomorrow. And anything at all you'd like to add or we should look forward to?
Well, I hope everybody comes and gets the last bit of tickets. And, just let everybody know I'm looking forward to coming to the show and looking forward to seeing everybody.
Thank you so much, Stephen Page, for joining the show today. And, can't wait to see you tomorrow.
My pleasure. See you tomorrow.
Want more of today's show?
Download the Mixed Mornings and More podcast.
Now available every weekday.